here on Colts Talk, and you know what that means, people. Another signing for the Indianapolis Colts. It is Michael Clemons. Defensive lineman is signing a 3-year, $17.5 million deal with the Colts as they again add to that defensive line spot. There's a lot to break down with this one. I will say this is an interesting get for the Colts. 3 years, $17.5 million. They just re-signed Daniel Jones. Now they go get Clemons. And the deal here, and talking with Tom Downey of our, Cowboys report and NFL guy in general, run stopper. That's what he said about Michael Clemens. Wraps things up with the Jets. Solid numbers. Again, it's not going to jump off the page. This is not Trey Hendrickson. This is not Max Crosby. This is just an addition to your defensive line. And again, you lost, multiple names on that defensive line. Kwity Paye being one of them and some other guys to go along with it. So you were kind of adding back to it. That's why the Colts get Colby Wooden, Arden Key, Michael Clemens, adding to that defensive line. And again, it is a 3-year, $17.5 million contract for Michael Clemens. He adds to the Colts defensive line room. So they get Jones hours ago. Now they add Clemens. And now I ask you to grade this signing for the Indianapolis Colts. Michael Clemens, give it an A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know in the comment section down below. You guys know I always want to hear from you in these situations, kind of get the vibe on what you think about a player like this. Clemens joining the Colts now from the Jets. Obviously not one of the better defenses necessarily, but I want to get your grade here. All right, for Clemens, I'm going to give this a C+. Defensive line-wise, you've had such high hopes, big things that you wanted to see for the Colts. You wanted to see them get Trey Hendrickson, and you wanted to see them get maybe Max Crosby and, Joey Bosa. I think there were a lot of names we threw out there. Clemens, fine. You're going to get him in the later part of his defensive career. It seems like they've really worked hard in Indianapolis to add to this line. Obviously, Colby Wooden, right, was an addition we've talked about multiple times for the Colts. Clemens is going to be here for a few years. And again, the vibe on Michael Clemens is run stopper. This is not your Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby pass rusher, get after the quarterback guy, plug some holes, cause a little bit of trouble, and hope he can wreak some havoc in the backfield, change directions of the runners, things like that. It's just not a wow signing for me. This is a C+ signing, solid player, okay player. The Jets obviously terrible last year, defense terrible last year. So for me personally, not necessarily one of those situations where I'm just overly eager to talk and get into the Michael Clemens discussion, however you guys want to put it for the Colts. However, I do think this is one of those scenarios. We've talked about it. It's like, hey, this is what the NFL free agency is. It's not all pop and shock and this guy and that guy and the next guy. Sometimes it's just this is the addition they're making to fill some spots on their team, and I think that's exactly who Michael Clemens is. It's another addition to their defensive line to keep a little bit of depth. As we get more into it, we're going to look at the additions and losses for the Colts to this point in just a second. However, I do want to ask you guys to subscribe. We told you when things happen with the Colts, we would have videos put out right away talking about it, and that's exactly what we've done. Sign Clemens, sign Jones, video. Hit that sub button, and you will be completely up to date. So the two additions for the Indianapolis Colts on that defensive line, Arden Key, that's more of your pass rusher. That's more of your get after the quarterback guy. And then you've got Clemens, a guy you are kind of thinking will plug some holes and cause some trouble. And again, run stopper, right? That's the vibe on Michael Clemens. I understand you wanted Trey Hendrickson. He's a Raven. I understand you want Max Crosby. You don't have the money for it. You kind of have to pivot and go where you go, and you get guys like this. Colts can also add some draft picks, of course, to that defensive line. So, the overall vibe is Nothing flashy on the defensive line. However, as of this point, this is what you've kind of gone after and gotten in Arden Key and in Michael Clemens. So I know a lot of you guys kind of like, it's going to be one of those situations where it's like, okay, solid, I guess. And it's like, yeah, keep your eye posted for more free agency stuff after that. And that's exactly one of those situations where we do want to let you guys know. Let's welcome Michael Clemens to the Colts. Get him in the mix now. Hit that thumbs up button now to welcome Michael Clemens to the Colts. Whatever thoughts you have on the guy, he is an addition. He is someone new on the team, and I think it's always great here on Colts Talk to do something like this. It's fun, lets the fan base know we're kind of getting after it and talking about it and everything we're kind of doing with the Colts. So hit that thumbs up button to welcome Michael Clemens. Quick recap of what the Colts have done. We know they traded Zaire Franklin. That's how they ended up with Colby Wooden, who I'm actually seeing very good things from Packer fans on Colby Wooden. Blake Grupe, he's back to compete for that kicking job. Alec Pierce, that is, I would say, the big contract, but Daniel Jones technically is the big contract. Arden Key, we just went over his numbers for you. That's looking like it's going to be your premier pass rusher or your pass rusher addition for the Colts in this offseason. So, again, maybe you added Joey Bosa or someone close, but those big names that we listed for you guys, Odafe Owe even, Boye Mafe, all of them off the board along with Trey Hendrickson. And then today, the Daniel Jones deal went down. Michael Clemens deal went down. So that's kind of where the Colts are at as of right now. Additions wise, as far as the guys they have lost, we know they traded Zaire Franklin to the Green Bay Packers. Zaire Franklin saying last night, I may not be younger, but I feel like I'm still pretty fast. That is what it is. You trade Michael Pittman to get the Alec Pierce deal done. You kind of had to do it. Neville Gallimore. Bears fans are pretty excited about that one. And then a signing that I actually didn't think was too big of a surprise, Braden Smith. We all predicted he would leave the Colts, and that's exactly what happened there. So you look at the guys you gain, you look at the guys you lost, and that leads me to wonder, have the Colts gotten better or worse through free agency? Daniel Jones is back. Alec Pierce is back. Franklin's gone. Braden Smith is gone. We just took you through all the names. Now I want to hear from you guys. Have the Colts gotten better or worse in free agency? Type B for better, W for worse. Let us know down below.